Hello everyone, this is Justin Game 44 here, and today we are here to review Leprechaun 4 in Space. Now, usually I would make the video in the way how I did with the other three reviews, but due to the fact how I feel about this movie, I'm not really going to do that. Anyway, yeah. So, let's begin with this Leprechaun review. Now, I'm going to be honest with you, this was the most weirdest out of all the Leprechaun movies. I mean, you have a leprechaun that is supposed to be a farrier that you would usually see in the Middle Ages or the old times, and yet it's set in 100 years, well, 99, because it came out in 1997, but it's supposed to be set 99 years later since it's 2096. My guess is they were supposed to release the movie a year before, but failed, and it took a little bit longer than expected. But no. What goes on in this movie is really weird. The leprechaun in this, like in the second movie, he wants to marry a princess. Well, wants to get married. Of course, the reason why is because it's a princess and he wants to become king. And a lot of reasons. He brides the princess for the marriage. And throughout this movie, the characters have a lot of weird names. I mean, they do technically have most names, but some of them just go by their nicknames, like Metalhead Hooker, which I don't know why, Metalhead Hooker. Or you got the actual leader of the whole entire ship, who's basically in charge, who basically signed them all up for the mission. Mittenhens, this old German guy, which, by the way, guys, I actually do have German in me, if you were, just for you all to know that. But still. Besides all of that, I mean, the weird creep assistant who is working with Dr. Mittenhens. I mean, it was very weird. Also, they referenced Wizard of Wallace a couple of times, like they did in this third movie. Now, I have no idea why they actually did this movie. It really was a weird plot, and besides being called Leprechaun 4 in space, the leprechaun is never referred as a leprechaun, nor is the word is ever said in the movie. And three of the characters die really before they actually get started and taken seriously. One died during the mission, the next guy, well, in an appropriate way, but I'm surprised they actually did it. The third one basically was left nothing but bones. Now, honestly, this movie was actually kind of boring in my own opinion. Like, it is a very weird idea combining something that in the future setting of a sci-fi movie compared to something that a creature that usually would be in, like, set back a few hundred years ago in this time period, or around this time period now. It was a really weird plot where the leprechaun is slowly killing them all. The jokes were not funny. Some of the depths were not actually good. I mean, I felt some were cheap. I mean, the first one, okay, a lightsaber getting his legs chopped off, okay. That's one idea, I guess it's alright. But also, the second one and the third one were actually okay, in my opinion, actually kind of creative, despite it was kind of a bit inappropriate with the second one. But then some of the others were just a bit weird. One just fell off, the other guy just got crushed, and the way how it happened, it was kind of lazy. Like, the joke wasn't really that funny with the leprechaun on TV showing himself hurting himself. I mean, it was kind of like a lazy joke where he was trying to say, oh, be warned, this is a very dangerous area. And then he actually just, like, cuts off his fingers on the TV. Of course, it's all acting. But it was a really weird way to do it. I mean, in the third movie when they did that, it was basically getting the guy's attention and making him, hey, wait, he said my name. And as he was very confused, and then he was caught off by surprise 3 times, and then the leprechaun appeared. And then electrocuted him. The other time the leprechaun basically uses a weapon, I mean, it does get more creative at the most end where we get this very giant, where the Dr. Mittenhens turn into a giant spider scorpion. I mean, that was actually surprising. And then the leprechaun growing humongous as the ship is about to explode due to the fact of the self-destruct button. And of course, has to save the princess, so he can become king. But at the very end, the leprechaun basically died by actually out of the ship by accident and accidentally explode. And the way it actually did look cheap looking because when it did happen, the leprechaun basically if you look at the part of the side, you will see there's actually a light. I don't know how they actually create the effect for the explosion, but dang. Now, I will admit, the sets were definitely good looking, but not really creative if you ask me for a leprechaun movie. It was just kind of like a very weird idea. I mean, I can go on with some other things, but like some of the sets were just kind of cheap. I mean, I'll give credit that they actually decided to do this idea. I mean, this is technically an example that shows how ridiculous these Leprechaun movies can be. And honestly, this is the most ridiculous movie yet, but honestly, I didn't find this movie all that good. Most of the deaths were not really that creative. One was too cartoonish in my own opinion, or a bit weird and kind of slow. But really, other than that, yeah. Anyway, that's kind of the idea. Like, I would try to make this video longer, but this Leprechaun movie was... Yeah, I'm not gonna lie, I would have actually preferred this as the worst movie. Due to the fact it was kind of lazy with some jokes. It really wasn't funny in my own opinion when it came to the whole entire time of the movie. Besides that, there was also just... I felt like they could have actually done more with this movie in a way, but they didn't. I felt like if they, in Leprechaun 3, now, I think in Leprechaun 3, the reason why Leprechaun 4 exists is because of 3 existing. And what I mean by that is, like, there were a few sci-fi jokes, like, come over to the green side, or that robot. And also, I realized they actually did make a reference of Wizard of Oz in the 3rd movie, when they were talking about the people who were playing as, well, I forgot. Oh yeah, the Munchkins. Like, actually, I was actually surprised because one of the characters brought up the actor who played Dorothy. I was actually surprised because I didn't realize that until a family member of mine told me about that. Because I had no idea who the guy was talking about until they actually told me. So that was a surprise. But yeah, honestly, this was a kind of weird movie. I mean, I'll give credit that they really did, like I said earlier, but I do think they could have done a bit more with it. Or I think they should have completely scrapped this idea and had done more like a middle-aged time period. Because that would have made more sense. I mean, a leprechaun, like, say, trying to kidnap a princess to become king of a middle-aged kingdom for all the gold, or basically he's running through the castle and everything. I mean, that would have technically made more sense. Now, I would usually bring up the outfit and everything, the appearance of Leprechaun, but it really did not change from the 3rd movie. I mean, it slightly got different with the buckle on its head now being circle on his hat. Other than that, and I mean, the Leprechaun in this movie just did a lot of references to, like, a cowboy movie. He didn't really do that many good rhymes or anything, really, for this. And he didn't ever prefer himself as the Leprechaun. I mean, I'm kind of curious why he even got into space to begin with. Anyway, yeah. This really is not personally one of my favorites. Anyway, I'll see you all later for the next review in Leprechaun in the Hood. Bye!